Hey dudes, welcome to Splat from the Past, the only 80s themed horror and sci-fi show where things can get totally radical. Now today, I will be taking a trip down to the Bay Area comedy scene again, and I will be interviewing an old friend of mine that I've known since the beginning of the comedy days for me, Kristee Ono. She's a very funny lady. I've known her since 2006 when I started doing stand-up at the Brainwash Cafe in San Francisco. And we haven't seen each other probably in about 10 years or so, because I stopped going to Brainwash in early '09, and so we have a lot of catching up to do and stuff. I'm surprised we haven't even run into each other since then, you know, with comedy gigs and everything. But we have a lot of catching up to do and stuff, and it's going to be pretty cool. Also, I'd like to say happy birthday to my past guest of Splat from the Past, Claudia Wells, who played the first Jennifer Parker in Back to the Future. Happy birthday, Jennifer. How about a ride, ma'am? So, without further ado, here's my interview with Kristee Ono. Hi, Kristee.
Hey, what's going on?
Oh, nothing much. Welcome to the show.
Hello. Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. How are you?
I'm good. Yeah, what about yourself?
Pretty good. Recovering a little bit from 4th of July.
Oh, sure, fair enough. Did you barbecue it or do anything fun?
Yeah, barbecued, did a little bit of swimming, stuff like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. Wow, so, yeah, we've known each other a long time, and before we get into that, I want to go back to the beginning. Did you always know that you were funny growing up?
No, not really. I come from a really big family of people who are hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're very, like, jovial, lighthearted, like, people on, like, a lot of, like, food and parties, and people, like, joke around all the time. And, like, my sister and my brother are super funny. And I was, like, I am, like, the least funny person, like, in person. But,
Mm-hmm.
like, I did a lot of theater in, like, high school.
Yeah.
And kind of like that aspect of performing, and found that I am more a comedic person than like a dramatic person, and so like that's how stand-up kind of really appealed to me.
Nice. So you were always a fan of stand-up when you were a kid?
No, not even that. Like, I don't know. I'm not like a huge comedy nerd. Like, I don't know a lot about like the history of it. Like, I know it like a little bit of. I'm like, I know like the grades and whatever, but I don't know. I didn't really start watching comedy until like, I think the first thing I saw was a Dennis Leary like comedy special, which was kind of weird.
Yeah.
Because he's like a super angry dude. But like that really appealed to me. And then just like in Living Color, I remember watching that, and like Saturday Night Live and things like that too.
Yeah. So your introduction was mostly the sketch comedy then?
Yeah. I mean, just like the stuff that was very popular on TV and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Yeah, it was a weird introduction, I guess. Like,
but since then, of course, you've grown to love stand-up, right?
yeah.
Who
Yeah.
are some of your favorites and the ones that have influenced you?
I really love Maria Bamford.
Mm-hmm.
She is great.
She's very
I also
good.
really love Jackie Cajun, who opens for Maria a lot and tours with her. She's amazing. One of my favorite people. I super liked Louis Black for a long time.
Yeah.
And then kind of fell off of that. I loved Laurie Kilmartin when she was like, I met her before I knew who she was, really.
Mm-hmm.
When she was living in San Francisco, and kind of, she was going to the Brainwash and open mics and stuff too, and it was just like super amazing when I figured out who she was, and I was like so impressed with like just her work ethic.
Yep.
I just watched the Hannah Gatsby, well, I don't know how to say her name, special on Netflix, which was fucking amazing. Not traditional stand-up, but like she's a comedian and it was really good. I first found out about her through my friend Wonder Dave introduced me to this Australian like show called Please Like Me, and like that main character there is also a comedian. He's really funny. I can't remember his name right now, but yeah, I don't know. It's basic stuff, I guess.
Yeah, Maria Bamford, she's great. I love it when she does that pterodactyl squeal. It's really funny.
Sure. She does a lot of great characters, and her like just I don't know. She's a great voice and character actor like type person. But like there was one thing that she said in one of her like early like Comedy Central like hours or something, where she called anxiety being paralyzed by hope, and that has been like a line that has like stuck with me for a really long time. And I don't know, it's just such a unique perspective on like mental health and stuff.
Yeah, she's pretty insightful. I do have to admit that. Lewis Black. I saw one of his more recent specials and stuff, and I think he's kind of slipping in his old age.
Yeah, I haven't really kept up with what he's doing. You know who also is really fucking great is Eddie Izzard.
Oh, Eddie Izzard.
That guy was so fucking funny.
He's
that whole thing with the flags and stuff. It was just I don't know. It's just great guy. Very very attractive too. Very fashionable. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Eddie Izzard, oh my God, he is just a prolific genius, and just it's so hard to do what he does with all those characters, you know.
Mm-hmm.
God, I envy that kind of a comedian, I'll tell you.
Yeah, yeah.
So you went to South City High School, right?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I went to San Mateo High School. I'm class of 2001.
Oh wait, where'd you go?
San Mateo High School.
Oh, okay. Oh, cool. We graduated the same year.
Yeah.
Nice.
I dated a couple of girls that went to South City High School later, but I don't want to say their names on the air.
Sure, fair enough.
Yeah, because I was a bouncer over at that bar, the Standby.
Okay.
Yeah, I was there for like 18 months, and I dated a couple of girls who went to South City while I was there and stuff. Very interesting girls.
Sure, South City's a great place. It's interesting. Yeah, it's a fun, weird place. It's a weird high school. I think it used to be a prison, and like that's why it's like structured like that. But
right.
Yeah, I don't know. I had a good time there. My family still is out in South City, so. Cool.
Yeah. What year did you start doing stand-up, and where at?
I started doing stand-up in 2007, actually in July, so it's going to be like 11 years, which is kind of crazy. But I went to Deluxe when they had comedy on Monday. That was the first local comedy thing I attended. Mm-hmm. And I got super drunk, and I was like heckling everybody. But then me and my cousin stayed and hung out. Yep. And I went to my first open mic the following Wednesday, it was called the Broadway at that point. It was a women's open mic at the Brainwash.
Yeah. That used to be on Wednesday nights, I remember.
Yep.
Wow. Were you nervous?
Yeah, I was super nervous. I only did about 3 minutes, and then I got off stage and was almost throwing up. It was super intense, but it went well, and I have been doing it ever since. So
yeah,
it seemed to turn out all right.
Yeah, I started doing comedy in June of 2006 at the Brainwash, and nice. In February of 2007, I moved to Arizona for 3 months, and then I came back. And yeah, that would be around the timeline of around the time you started coming around. After that, yeah, I remember. My friend Danny. You remember him?
Yeah, I think so. He had like long hair, right?
Yeah, long hair, kind of heavy set at the time. Yeah, I remember me, him, you, and a couple other guys. We used to like go in the alleyway and smoke weed. Do you remember that?
Yeah. I was drinking a lot and like smoking weed a lot. And comedy's good for that. You'll find a lot of people you can drink and smoke pot with, which is kind of fun. Or it was fun for a while.
Yeah, it was fun for a while. I have so many cherished memories from those days that it's kind of weird. I mean, that place had such a weird vibe because it was like a half of a cafe, half open mic, half of a laundromat,
Mm-hmm.
and you never know who was going to show up. People would get there at 4:30 to sign up to sign up at 6 and then go on at 7, and it would be dead. But then by like 8 or 8:30, the place would be packed because everybody knew Justin Scales was going to be there.
Yeah, it was a little like chaotic time. Like there were so many comics. I know it would go from like 7 to like midnight or 11 or something, and it was like such a central hub for everything, and everyone was there. Like so many different comics have passed through there, and yeah, I mean, for the longest time, like whenever I was just like hanging out in the city, I can always like go to the Brainwash and like run into another comic who would have just happened to be hanging out, or like it was a great place to meet up with other comics to write or do whatever.
Yeah, I mean, at that time, I lived in San Carlos, and we didn't have any open mics on the peninsula. We had to go to the city during that time. There was no open mics in Silicon Valley yet. That came later, and we would go there to Purple Onion sometimes, and
Sure.
that's where we learned how to do comedy. And there were so many guys who ended up quitting that were really, really good, and it's really, really sad that they quit.
Yeah.
I mean, there was like David Wiswell and like Julian Vance, who like disappeared off the face of the planet.
Yeah, both of those guys are in New York. David Wiswell does a YouTube channel that I think, or show that's doing pretty well, I think. But yeah, I kind of lost touch with both of those guys when they moved to New York. But yeah, I think they're maybe not doing stand-up, but they're both like comedy adjacent right now, doing other projects.
Yeah, I talked to David about 2 years ago. He's doing improv comedy. I know that.
Okay.
Sketch and improv.
Okay.
But Julian, though, he disappeared. I don't know where he is. He's not even on Facebook anymore.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard through people that he's all right, but like, yeah, he did. Yeah.
He disappeared.
Yeah. He pretty much disappeared.
Yeah. Then there was like Max Neal, who I thought was hilarious.
Yeah, I used to see him around the Sunset. He used to live out here, but yeah, he's a funny dude. He was really young too.
Yeah.
I always thought of him as like a younger dude. So like maybe he found something that was better for him. It's like good for him if so.
Yeah, he sent me a message several months ago telling me that he was proud of me and he was glad that I'm starting to have good things happen within the business and stuff. Yeah, he's a good guy. And
so cool.
Do you remember Lee Stoneman?
Yes. Holy shit! I haven't thought about that guy in a long time.
I had him on last week.
Oh shit! What is he doing?
He lives in Petaluma, and he's making his own short films, and he's entering them in film festivals, and he actually just won a prize for one recently.
Nice. Good for him.
Yeah, Lee was good people. I mean, he had an abrupt end over there and stuff because he had this controversy between him and Candy Chirilla at the time, and it was really, really sad. But
I remember that.
Yeah, he's recovered from it, though, and he's doing really good, and he and I plan on doing some projects in the future.
Nice, that's great, dude.
Yeah. But yeah, I stopped coming around after January of 2009 because I was a bouncer at this bar in San Mateo, the Swinging Door, and
Okay.
I got caught up in kind of a hedonistic lifestyle, and I just
Fair
had,
enough.
I had more fun
I'll
partying.
getcha. Yeah.
Yeah, I had more fun partying and stuff. So I quit comedy for a year, and then when I went back to it, the Silicon Valley comedy scene was starting, and so I just started going around there and stuff to like Rooster T. Feathers in Sunnyvale and stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
Have you ever played there?
I was just there recently. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was a fixture there for about 6 years until I moved down here to Reading, and
Oh, cool.
yeah, it was good up until the last couple of years and stuff. Once I started doing comedy as seriousness instead of a hobby, they just changed toward me. It was really sad.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, but have you played a lot of comedy festivals and contests?
Not really. I went to New York. I don't know if you remember Corey Spencer when she was living out here, but she started a comedy festival in Brooklyn. It was called Cinderblock Festival. I went out there a couple times for that. This is Sketchfest. That was pretty fun. I just did the Sacramento Comedy Spot competition. Did not win, but it was really fun out there.
Nice.
But like that's all I've been in the last few years. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's I don't like competitions. I feel like that it breeds like weird tensions for me, and in like that kind of and being judged on this thing that is like subjective or whatever, and it's just like it puts me in a weird headspace. But festivals are really fun when I manage to get in. It's always like a little bit of a crapshoot for me, but yeah, I've been enjoying just trying to branch out and do more.
Yeah, the only problem I have with comedy competitions is that they fucking rape you up the ass with like the entry fee, and then if you don't get in, they don't refund it to you.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's like with any festivals and stuff, is like the application fee can be, I don't know. If you're applying to a bunch of festivals, it can get expensive for sure. But I mean, like, I also like think of it as like I love comedy, I support comedy, I want it to grow and be a good thing. So if my $30 goes towards, maintaining the growth of a festival and comedy in general, like I don't mind it too much. I also have a job and I can afford to like blow $30 on a festival that won't accept me every once in a while. So I have that luxury, I guess.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, I entered this well, it was an audition actually for a festival out in Burbank called the Flappers Burbank Comedy Festival. It was only $10, and they had the auditions at Rooster T. Feathers, and I had just gotten out of the hospital after my accident like 6 months before, and I was pretty frail, and I thought I was ready, but looking back, I wasn't, and I didn't get it. A couple of my friends did, and I was very happy for them. Then there was a shitload of people who got in that I didn't think deserved it, but I'm going to re-enter it this year though, because I feel like I'm ready now.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I hope it goes well. That sounds great.
Yeah, it's only $10 to audition and stuff. And then there's a comedy competition out in LA called the U.S. Comedy Competition or something. And that you don't really have to audition. You basically just sign up, pick a date, and then you go over there and you do it basically.
Oh wow.
Yeah, the guy who runs it and hosts it actually used to open for like Sam Kinison and a couple famous people.
Oh, crazy. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool. How far would you like to go with your comedy?
Man, I guess that's like the question I've been asking myself recently. Like, I don't know. I mean, I would love to do this for a living. Like, I love it. I like that it takes me to interesting places when I get to travel for comedy, and I love the people that I get to meet and work with. I mean, I just want to keep doing it as much as I can, and no one has asked me to stop yet, so that's encouraging, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, I just want to, ride this till the wheels comes off, I guess, and see where it goes.
Now that sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
Have you gotten any sucked in? Have you got sucked into any of the drama with other comics out there?
No, I don't know. I'm not trying to start shit with people. It's really funny, when I went to New York, I was talking with some comics out there, and they were talking about how frequently people beef in the Bay Area, and they called it the scene that beefs, and I'm like, oh man, that sucks. And I don't know too many, for real hardcore beefs. Frankly, I don't expect everybody to like me. I don't expect everyone to get along with me. I know that I don't get along with everybody, and that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I try to be respectful of people, and, sometimes that's not always the case. I'd always like to be open to working things out. I'm not trying to start shit with people, so, I mean, hopefully, no. I got into plenty of trouble, on my own, just being a drunk asshole. And I'm still kind of recovering from that and, trying to not be an asshole anymore, which is very hard. But, I'm doing the best. And I think I'm getting better. So hopefully it's just continuing down the not asshole path. So, yeah.
That's good. Yeah, I've had a lot of drama with a lot of comics, mostly in my age group. All the comics, like older than me, they fucking love me, I'll tell you, because I'm a one-liner comic and shit, right? And then there's all these guys in my age group or younger that are the quote-unquote alternative comics, and they think that my comedy is just out of date and shit, and so they want to start shit, and
weird.
Yeah, I got tired. I just got tired of it, It's one of the reasons why I got out of the Bay Area, because I just got tired of it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like there's a place for everybody in the comedy universe, and you're gonna need alt comics and one-liners and fucking everybody. So I don't know. It's a shame that it's fucked up with beefs and stuff. But yeah.
Well, when I started in the Bay Area, when I started in San Francisco, it wasn't that bad. But then once I got to Silicon Valley, it fucking got bad, because I tell a lot of people this on the show. One of the worst things that happened with the most recent comedy boom in the last 5 years was the dive bars jumping on the bandwagon and having open mic nights, because it spawned so many douchebag wannabe comics. I mean, they came out of the woodwork,
That was interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still stick to San Francisco, so I don't know what it's like out in the Silicon Valley area.
Oh, well, you are lucky, because these douchebags come out of the woodwork. They try comedy one time, and then they like it, and then they keep doing it, and then next thing you know, their friends are doing it, and they're all fucking just talking shit behind other people's backs of comics who are actually serious about doing comedy, and then they get to a point where they're starting to get booked, to be features at the Improv or the Punchline or Cobb's or whatever, and they get to a point where they're they have enough power to have open mics for amateur showcases, right? But all they're doing is booking their douchebag friends, and they're not booking the real comics, and their friends are fucking terrible, It's just insane. Just the way the open mic comedy scene has become,
Oh, okay.
But you're lucky. You're lucky you stick to San Francisco, I'll tell you.
Okay, cool. Maybe I'll stay up here then.
I remember you used to do a joke about talking to your belly button. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Do you still do that?
I don't. that was like part of a group of jokes about like weight and weight loss and stuff, and I have since gained a ton of weight, so I talk about that instead.
Really? You look a lot thinner now than you did when I first met you.
Oh, dude, I'm like, oh shit, I just spilled water on myself. No, I'm like way heavier. I also don't care as much, so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So how's your cousin Corey doing?
She's good. She is, living her life. Yeah, she got married a few years ago, and she's like, just enjoying being an adult, not really like hanging around comics too much anymore. I definitely don't go out in the same way where like we kind of used to go roll around to shows and open mics and like party pretty hard, but I mean, I guess everyone grows up, grow out of that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember after I left the Brainwash, she used to come in the swinging door when I was working there, and like we'd see each other, we'd hug, and we'd talk for a few seconds and all that and stuff.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, because she still lives in San Bruno, and so she used to go out there a couple times, like every once in a while.
Nice. Yeah, the reason I asked about her is because she's not on my she's not on my friends list anymore, and I was just curious.
Yeah, she kind of unfriended some like comics.
Yeah.
When she kind of pulled away from the scene, like again when we weren't partying as much. Like, I mean, I definitely got into some pretty big trouble with like drugs and alcohol, and I am like 100% sober now.
Mm-hmm.
And so that took I still did comedy during that time, but like I totally like cut back a lot, and I had to try and clean up and get sober. So like during that time, I think she also pulled back from doing stand-up because like there was no reason for her to go out and party so hard if like I'm not doing it, and also she's trying to be supportive of me and not get out there and go blackout drunk all the time.
Yeah. I started drinking after I left Swinging Door and I got back into comedy. I started drinking, and that's what led to my car accident. And
oh shit, sucks.
Yeah, my liver got damaged, and I can't drink again. It's just it's if I do, my liver will start bleeding, And I was pretty bad, I'll tell you. And I was doing comedy during that time. I'd go up on stage just hammered.
Jesus.
And when I'd go on hammered, I would be terrible. But if I got on there just buzzed enough, I would kill.
Nice.
Yeah, like when I would go to Rooster T. Feathers, they would give the comedians like a drink ticket to get one free beer, and I would use that beer, and I would get on stage, and I would just kill just being buzzed off of that one beer. But yeah, those days are gone. I know what you're saying though about going you go to the open mic, you want to do your set, and then just leave. You don't want to hang out.
Yeah. I kind of just like go handle my business, and then try and go home, get to bed at a decent hour. I also feel like just older, and I'm trying to like not fuck up my job because it like pays for me to do this thing that I love to do.
Right.
So I kind of have to not fuck that up too badly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, also like I just like being sober now. Like I don't have to rely on trying to do this weird chemistry project of the right amount of beer and the right amount of alcohol and drugs and weed and whatever.
Yeah.
To like be in a mood that makes me funny. It's like I have been working on what I actually think is funny and what I actually want to talk about, and not just saying things to be some piece of shit drunk asshole. Mm-hmm. Which is something I definitely did before, and like I don't know, I enjoy it. In a different way. I find it more satisfying, at least, like not having to regret like things that I may have fucked up on, or being too drunk, or being too whatever. And yeah, I don't know, just having a little bit more kind of a self-contained energy and, yeah, a little bit more self-respect or whatever. But, like, yeah, I'm also just old. I don't want to, like, be out there at, like, 2 in the morning anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, those days are gone. You know, you just want to go in, do your set, and leave. You know, it's better to do it's better to do the hanging out when you're in your 20s. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Like I got tired when I was like 23, 24. I'm like, I was out there partying and drinking anyway, so like it was fun to do that with a bunch of funny people. And like it was a different kind of enjoyment where it was like exciting and you were. And, like, there was, like, the high of performing and this and that, and it was fun. And it's not that it's not fun anymore, or that doesn't appeal to me, or I don't get that kind of enjoyment anymore, but it's just, like, it's just different, you know? Mm-hmm. And there's no reason to think that something has to stay the same always anyway, so I feel like it's a nice kind of growing up a little bit. I mean, it was, like, 11 years ago, so.
Right.
I just keep acting like that all my life, so, yeah.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite joke of all time?
Do I have a favorite joke?
Yeah.
I don't know, it kind of goes in cycles, right? You get that new joke that, like, is starting to work really well, and, like, and then, like, you perform it a couple times, and you write something new, and so it's like, I always have, like, something that I like. And there's always something that I like doing, like, a bit that's just for me, but I usually enjoy more than I get audience to enjoy. But, yeah, I don't know. I do have, like, my favorites and my classics and the kind of A material that works all the time, that's reliable, but...
But what about, like, a famous joke from a comedian that you like?
Well, I mean, the line from Maria Bamford is, like, not only funny, but it's also, like, helped me kind of reframe my own mental health and wellness, with anxiety being, like, paralyzed by hope, which is just a fun way to spin something on its head, you know, and that's kind of what I like doing with stand-up, right? You can change how people look or see some particular thing, and it's maybe not always negative. It could be just as absurd and ridiculous and positive. And, yeah.
I see. Well,
yeah. I also like that knock-knock joke that's like, knock-knock, who's there? Interrupting cow, moo. Classic. Fucking great joke.
Yeah. I love this one I've told on the show many times. Eddie Murphy's told to a couple 13-year-olds in the audience on his Delirious special. A bear and a rabbit are taking a shit in the woods. The bear says to the rabbit, "Excuse me, sir, do you have a problem with shit sticking to your fur?" The rabbit says no, so the bear wiped his ass with the rabbit.
Yeah, nice, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites. So, it was so great catching up with you, Kristee, and I thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah. Thanks, it was fun.
Yeah, and I'll probably see you when I go back out there to visit soon.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, hopefully we'll run into each other or something.
Yep. Well, you have yourself a great night.
Yeah, thanks. You too, man.
All right.
All right, bye.
Bye. Well, there you have it. Kristee Ono. Ain't she a sweetheart? Thank you so much, Kristee. That was great catching up with you, talking about the early days of the Brainwash Cafe. And I commend you on conquering your mental health, mental wounds, and your drinking and drug use. If you like this video, everyone, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Add me as a friend on Facebook. Join my Tommy Kovac comedian page on Facebook. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram and all that fun stuff. Well, that's all the time we have this week on Splat from the Past. Until next time, this is Tommy Throwback Kovac saying, there's no shame in living in the past, because the present sucks.